Hey there, it's BitB, and welcome out to another BitB stream. Thanks for coming out. It is Saturday, and I've had a couple of technical difficulties here. That was fun. If for whatever reason Mixer was having these random-ass cutouts that would happen like every 20 seconds, so I need to go and fix that and figure out what the heck the problem was. And I think I did. Hopefully there isn't too much issues. If it's still an issue, I guess the only thing I can say is move over to Twitch, because Twitch doesn't seem to have that issue right now. Anyway, so today we are going to be playing Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Now, last time we played, a wild old bag has appeared. I guess more things happen, you know, the whole murder at the Blue Badger amusement park. And that's what we are currently trying to figure out. So let us go ahead and dive directly into that kind of thing. Just dial everything back up. Here, I'm going to monitor the audio coming out of the stream for a short period of time here, just because I don't know what level anything is supposed to be, but it's a lot easier to monitor it now than it was a long time ago. So here we go. Move over to the game window. Doop, doop. Anyway, press continue. I think we can raise the volume up just a little bit more. Hello? There. Okay, a little quieter. I know some of the sound cues by heart, so I'm just like, oh, no, that's a little bit too loud. Okay, I think this will be good. I'm going to monitor it for just a short period of time here. March 13th, 2:34 p.m., Wild Wild West area. Hello, Miles. How's it goes? Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Oh, Miles, my boy. Oh, hey, you guys. Yes. Hi. Okay. I think the audio is fine. I'm going to drop it down just a couple of decibels. And I'm going to put in my headphones proper. There we go. Also, this is the first Ace Attorney Investigations. Or is the Ace Attorney... this is the first Ace Attorney game that I've been playing where I actually have the compressor on my voice. So now I shouldn't be breaking ears whenever something crazy happens. So that should be a little bit of an update. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what this guy's voice was. I think it was just sort of old Westerner. Yeah, tell me, True. Tell me that you really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Armano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. Must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like... sob. Like an SOB. Yes. No. Huh. I guess I'm supposed to continue to talk to you guys about stuff. Yes, stuff about Lance. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. There was nothing. Still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say, I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? Ooh, neato. Can we read it? Can we read his dirty letters? Ah, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? And it is exactly that, but who cares? Interesting. It's a very simple love letter. Oh, hey, let me see. Well, that's pretty weird. That's from a loan company. Tender Shit! I didn't see that before! Crap! Looks more like a collection bill to me. Oh, dear. So we know that now. Great. Oh, what about you? Aw, it's okay. We're fine. We found him. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Oh, that's a 12-1. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. You've gone through an entire 12 bouquets. I don't know. 12 flowers do not make an entire... You get what I mean. You went through the entire flower shop. What the hell's wrong with you? I suppose if they were mean, I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because this isn't just any old ordinary ring. It's a ring pop. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. It's so wonderful. Oh, this sounds like a stalker and a half. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So, which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Armano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud! I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee with the Armano group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus. Ooh. Enchanted ponies. Weird. Is it sad for... I'm so entrenched in, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Nonsense that the first thing I thought was Maximilian. Pegasus! Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonging to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long. I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. That's going to come and bite us in the ass, isn't it? I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live! About the case. About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? Yeah, I'm talking about the person who is dead in the garage. I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? That's because my woman's intuition. Cut the bullshit. You based everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's only strange. It really must be destiny. Oh, swoon. She started fantasizing again. Oh, dear. So, what are you gonna do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. Well, let me think about this. I've been gone for a week. Kidnapper's hideout, the isolation room, or the crime scene. But what places can I not go to at this point? I don't think the crime scene, I don't think I would be able to touch that in any way, shape, or form, so... And I might find a clue, but who knows. Kidnapper's hideout. I forget what the isolation room is. The place where we are held as prisoners. Hold it! Don't let me in with you! I can't allow you to slander my good name as a great thief by saying I was captured. Not being able to escape from somewhere qualifies you as a caged bird, okay? Besides, we checked that place out pretty well while we were there, remember? Don't you think it'd be even a better idea to check somewhere else? Did we check the other side, though? Perhaps you are right. But I really need right now any leads to the killer's identity. I believe there's one location that might hold a clue or two. Yeah, I guess that would count as the kidnapper's hideout. And the obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to listen. But they might have taken all the evidence we need. Thank you for the pointing, kind sir. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Wait a minute. So are you are you an underling? That sounds freaking terrifying for me kids to have an underling, but is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, Roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Shut your mouth! Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. Awesome. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? Oh, dear God. The man in this picture. Isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? Apparently that's not his name. I'm gonna read this really quick here. Sex, male, height 5'8", weight, that. Dominant hand right. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Penn E. Dent Prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and daughter... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. I think I see where this is going. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Devore was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? What was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first. Think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room, so they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. Hopefully something with substance. Ah, yes, the other side, as it were. I think. I believe. Maybe? I don't know. It's a hideout. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. While you were tied up for a while in the room next door. Kay, please, must you bring that up again? I am not a fan of bondage. Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Very well. Well, one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb to me is the fact that they have 7 years of bad luck. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Strange. We got a thing back here. What have we here? Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Good question. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. Right, and then piece it all together with logic. We have barrels. Ooh, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and? Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put in them? There's an expectant gleam in her eye that I'm about to dash. This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Woof. That is disgusting. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome... No, your face! You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. Let's see. They've been having some kind of a coffee break. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Hello, keys. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. It reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it! It must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it that because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I am not having this conversation with you. Coffee percolator and several cups. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. 3 cups. Well, we've got 2 confirmed kidnappers and one of them that killed the other one. I mean, that would make a heck of a lot of sense considering we were talking about there's 3 double-ups and only 1 pink badger costume that was just sort of sitting around. And the other pink badger costume was being taken over by... her. A poster of Gatewater Land is stuck on the wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewater Land has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Nope. Chair. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. I think we can probably piece those 2 pieces of logic together. Yes, let's do just that, shall we? We can deduce that there are a total of 3 kidnappers from the fact... Mario... Wait, crap, are we in middle 2? Yes, I think we are. Alright. Again, I can deduce that because of the fact that there are 3 cups and the fact that there are 3 folding chairs, that there were 3 kidnappers. Got it. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. If we missed the easily missed cameo, you'll send a video. Oh, whoops. Yeah, probably. Was that, like, on the outside of this building, or was that located up in the rafters? Back where we were at the stadium. I mean, you mentioned that there was a cameo at the stadium, but I assumed it was the whole, the whole Gavin Ears thing. But anyways. No, he's fine, he's fine. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up. Literally. Is it possible there is a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? He was his own kidnapper. I don't know. I tend to just, like, find Easter eggs when they are conveniently nearby. I don't really sniff too much for them. Okay. So we got these 2 pieces, but I don't think those match up at all. Alright. Folding chairs. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in the folded state. Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I'd feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away. I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Alright, anyone want to jump down the hole? Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room too. It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage K. I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. Alright. I think that's everything, though. Pretty sure. It's been sent. Gotcha. I'll take a look at it sometime later. So... is there anything else we can deduce with the stuff we already got? Costume pieces. In the hideout, there's a trash bin for old and useless costumes. A broken prop sword was found lying next to the door, broken clean in half. It's only 30 seconds. Oh, I'll take a gander, I guess, here. So, what do we got going on? They say that couples who cross this bridge together will find... oh, God. Oh, he's talking way too fast. Will find happiness. Or so the Gatewater Land pamphlet says. But you'd think they'd already be happy because they were able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came... oh, Jesus Christ. Please, slow down. Please. Oh, hey, I see you in the background. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends. Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss. I can agree with that. Ah, you two. You are so adorable. What are you doing on a boat? And little Pearly! Alright, so I was gonna look at the door. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright. So, examine. That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Yeah, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. But how is that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? I can take a guess. More barrels. Ooh, they have barrels like that. Yes, and I already asked you. Oh god. It's the same dialogue tree. Damn it. Shush. Okay, I think that is actually the piece of logic that I needed. Ooh, yes, neat. Lock is not messed around in any way. I would say the broken prop sword was used to prop the door in some way. There we go. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight, despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. Yup. The door handle does look very fucked up. I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. But questions tend to lead to answers. Oh dear God! No, what is it? Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? Who the hell are you? Dude, what are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? I beg your pardon, miss? And who are you? We need to take a picture. Yeah, Proto Badger, get! Alright! One more to go! What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See? Look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done! Ah, yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. I don't know. It's been a week in stream time. Who are you? Where are you going? Whoa, why? It's gone! Where'd it go? What happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir! Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnapper stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Wait, why is there... Please don't... Tell me that there aren't 2 Bad Badgers walking around, right? What did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all times. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costume. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other Badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. Ah, that is very cute. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Yep, and that's why nobody wins the contest. Personally, I can't believe that this is close to showtime and there's no costume. Proto's eyes are scary. Oh god, you're telling me. Especially in the dead of night. Oh dear, what am I gonna do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. Well, that throws off the number of the chairs and the cups something fierce. Then are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh. Recall the costumes for a minute. Stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I mean... I'm very confused as to... Well, yeah, the whole thing... You can tell why it's a prototype. Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder what other prototypes of other... What are the prototypes of Barney the dinosaur? Or something like that. Regular Barney can give you nightmares. The prototype must have been some Cthulian nightmare. You know, I guess it's just confusing the fact that we have, like, you know, one of these Pink Badger costumes is currently sitting here, and then the other one is currently being used by Old Bag. And then I'm trying to remember how many of them are actually in the park. I think it might have something to do with the empty box. Looking here, you can plainly see that a 4th kidnapper is out of the question. Look where? Do you know what he's trying to say, Mr. Proto Badger? No. I'm very sorry, sir. However, I must have missed something myself. It's all right. I zigged when a zag was more appropriate. It's as simple as it appears. All I have to do is think a little to find the answer. Okay, was I supposed to select the box that had stuff in it? Meekins is in the blue. I'm aware that there is absolutely... Well... Wait a minute. And who was the what? I think there was a Proto Badger on the outside. that one, like one proto badger located somewhere? If you had 4 people and you had wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet, the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes. But the question is, why? That's a good question. Can you give me any more info? Please tell me who the hell you are. Knowing me, this is probably... Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's butts. I was wondering, if you don't mind, Mr. Proto Badger, how did you know my name? Pretty famous, sir. I would think the most people would know who you are. Famous me? Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. Wow, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's just my imagination. Absolutely. I'm trying to pick up on subtle vocabulary. Someone from a previous case said absolutely. I know. Oh, who was that? Wait. Okay. So the names that are immediately popping into my head. No, it doesn't make any... Okay, I need to talk with you again. Imagine him holding something. Oh, okay. I was wondering if you don't mind. How did you know my name? Pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are. Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. Huh. I have one person in my head, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, God, please take the head off. I want to know. Absolutely. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's going to bother me. It's going to bother me a lot. So what the heck are we even doing in this room now? Who do I think it is? I'm so bad with names. Good God. It doesn't help that, like, I start a new game and a whole bunch of knowledge about names and people go away. Except for, like, I remember what they look like. And it all immediately floats back the second I see them. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, you! So can I use some logic for something real quick? Unaccounted for bad badger and costume pieces. In the hideout, there's a trash bin of old and useless costumes, and a 4th stolen costume by the 3rd-person kidnapping group. Where's the other costumes? I mean, I would assume they're in the trash. This guy won't remove his head. Damn it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who says that? Is it Brushel? I don't know. That's the worst. The first thing that I was thinking. And if that were the case, I kind of wish I would have given him the Brushel voice. I feel like he would have said more end, like, quotes and end quotes, though. So I don't know if that would be him. It's not Brushel. God damn it. Give me a hint about which particular game it... Okay, you gave me it. 7 years before Apollo... Oh, right. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just figured maybe this was, like, way ass in the past before he became a reporter. All right. Oh, this is a very obscure... This is why I can't figure it out. This is a very obscure character. Just give me a hint about what specific game it was from. Because there's a ton of Ace Attorney characters. Let me see. It was from the first game. All right. Absolutely. I'm trying to remember what else this guy has said over the course of talking with him. Yeah, I got nothing. I'm really not sure. I really wish I should probably go back and play a little bit more of the original Ace Attorney game just to refresh my memory on a lot of the original base stuff. I seem to remember some people like. I remember Von Karma has said multiple times that he's like absolutely perfect, or actually I don't know if Manfred said that. Maybe Franziska said that at one point, but I don't think she said it like that. And it's not Franziska, because she's not in the first game. I'm gonna move forward. I'm thinking about this. The second Blue Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Go ahead and say it in the chat. I give up. I got nothing. Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a bad badger costume. Well, minus the head. And it's got a hole in the hand. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. How about what? The Gatewater Bellboy? Seriously? Oh my god. Yeah, apparently the whole I'm going to be a famous bellboy thing didn't work out. Jeez. Yeah, now I remember him. Look! Its hand is hurt! It looks more like something was ripped off of it. Okay, it's got pants. I wonder why this bad badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with a blue badger. I always knew the blue badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that Hey, the honey badger. Well, actually, no, the honey badger don't give no shit, so no, he's not bloodthirsty. What other? I mean, the foot? That's just about the torn up thing. Well, let's deduce. Why not? Any of the evidence I hold? Let's see. Here. I'm gonna try and deduce this, and then piece together that head is probably what it goes to. This is a clear contradiction of the facts. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you gonna fill me in or not? Wait! Maybe it's not quite so clear. Even so, it's still a contradiction, right? Or it might not be. You're acting really weird, Mr. Edgeworth. Tell me if it's a contradiction or not. My apologies. There is definitely something off about this costume. If only I could envision the truth in my head, I'd be one step closer to it. Okay, my guess is that it's gotta be the arm. I'm gonna try and use the head on the hand. I don't even know why this would be. I don't know what would work, but nope. All right. Well, I don't see blood in this unless we turn it inside out. Oh shit! What does the Bible say? Oh, something in the Bible. Funny thing is that the Bible is so innocuous and childish that I throw that crap out the window the second I'm like, no, that can't be it. Book detailing info on the family. Blue Badger. Oh, I see. I get you. Wait, vile criminal with a gun. The gun is missing from this thing. But that can't be a real gun. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there! Did you remove the gun from the Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. Yes, I thought. The rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Ah-ha-ha. Interesting. But what do you need a prop gun for? Alright, thanks for the help. Appreciate it. I think we're about done with this room. So, what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. And we're off. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a real gun. They're creepy enough, yeah. Mr. Edgewood, sir! Hello! You gotta hurry, sir! Come on! What is it, Detective? They found a Blue Badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir! What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo! That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now! If we hurry, we might still be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir! Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. To be continued. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna try and go to the fountain area. And hopefully, perhaps this Easter egg's still there. Oh, no, it's gone. Probably. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna cross my fingers. This doesn't look like the transition on the video. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Whoa. Hello. Ooh. Was it out here in the open all along? If you are sent here for story, then it's gone. Well, that sucks. No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Good God, that thing is creepy, just staring at me. This had to be. This must be the Blue Badger Officer Meekins crossed paths with. Oh, the nerve of someone throwing a Blue Badger away like this. I worked so hard to create this character. It's like my baby. How could someone do this, sir? How? Detective, how about channeling your anger towards finding the culprits? Good idea. Oh, wait until I get my hands on. So who are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Why don't you try figuring it out yourself for a change? Right. What do we have here? Ooh, matching pendant. Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? No better, Proto. Funny enough, the Proto Badger, it feels a hell of a lot like, well, you know, like pop figures. It's like a pop figure equivalent of the Blue Badger a little bit. The big old, like, soulless eyes staring at you. And hey, this pretty babe is made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two were gay for each other? Hold it right there. Oh boy. Oh, sup. Blue's eyes are pretty soulless already. Hey, they can always become more soulless. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Pendant, huh? Oh, whoopsies. I accidentally disconnected the cable. Hold up. This is fixable. Let's see. Initializing. Back to normal.
This is a very decisive piece of evidence.
How can you tell?
Look here and read off what you see.
Lauren D. Lauren. Hey, it's the name of that engraved. Oh, it's the name that's engraved on this. Okay. Those some awesome sunglasses.
We have you now, Miss Kidnapper.
No, you don't understand.
Lol, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers.
Lance, it's never that straightforward. You're kidding. Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers? Yes. What? It was me. I held Lance hostage.
So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved. Or over.
Hey, guys. Case closed. Lollipops. Yes. They're very clever with these Ace Attorney names. Also, giving her a ring pop. Pristine.
Get the car ready. And I mean the special one for this young lady.
No!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time?
Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in this murder case? You want a lollipop now? Lollipops are tough on my teeth. I'll stick with the waist expanding soda. What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect.
We found it.
Found what?
That officer's gun. He literally dropped it off in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are.
Who are you calling a sham?
The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon.
Don't like sweets outside chocolate. I like plenty of sweets, but I'll go with stuff that don't immediately destroy. Well, soda will destroy your teeth subtly. It's crazy to see old people that have just snacked on nothing but taffy their entire lives, and their teeth are just like filled with holes or don't exist, or there's like one left.
So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Maybe. Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Teakin? Nah. Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Nah. You're covering for somebody.
Thanks for the confession.
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed.
Look at you. So sure of yourself. We got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for?
Miss Lauren Pops. Yes. I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Oh, gee, don't do anything rash. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Okay. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? Lick.
How about a change of heart? I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today.
So I'm going to prove that she didn't do any of the things she said here.
The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Rance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
Now, you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes the second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much.
Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth?
Yes, it is.
If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. I'm not quite sure of it myself. Saves! There we go. There. Now, speaking of sugary sodas, I actually heard that one of the factories located in Mexico that makes Mexican Coke, they are shutting down production for it. Mainly due to the fact that it is so freaking dangerous down there that it's kind of a work liability and Coke doesn't want to be involved with it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just start manufacturing it here. Real sugar Coca-Cola. Pepsi's doing the thing. You know, they got real sugar Pepsi, real sugar Mountain Dew. Just make it here. Anyway, the one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. How well do you know the victim?
I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house.
A few times? That's it?
Yes.
If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other.
But if you hardly ever talk, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan?
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheen?
Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the event he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself.
I bet he didn't see that one coming.
Harf. Durf. Fine. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. That didn't seem too weird. You knew? How did you know something like that?
Dad, no, what should I do?
Kate, what's wrong with her now?
Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy.
Duh, again. Don't go cutting off things that you're going to regret losing. Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pops, let's continue with the testimony.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all.
Why did you believe that?
Anyone who knows Mr. Romano would think the same.
I bet Lance is the old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be to a to a doting father like Mr. Romano.
I always figured that was it, too. And I was always envious of Lance for it. Because your dad's... I got this pennant from my father. And I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus.
That pendant. She must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus.
Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money...
Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself?
Well, first we captured Lance. Oh, how'd you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah, here I thought you knew how to steal people away.
I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge.
Sorry, I don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
What did he try to do? Specifically, why did you think he did?
I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning.
Miss Pops. Nah. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that even really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Sure. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been able to killing you.
But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money.
Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor did you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. It's gotta be this.
Why are you showing this to me? So, what about the pennant?
This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, you're right, the same color, and they're even made of the same material.
I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Shall we give it a try? Ooh, and it's a Pegasus.
Wow, it's totally a Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's?
You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be.
No, that can't be.
So that you make us sad. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything.
You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. And that would have to be this little fun thing. Talking about his actual identity. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore, the name that is etched on the horse pendant.
What? An alias?
I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what is written in Mr. Devore's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Penn E. Dent prison, stole a gun from a guard during his escape, thought he might head to where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has not shown up. Daughter! Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops.
That's a lie! That person was not my father!
He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? This is a lot of conjecturous nonsense. I don't know if you can prove that. And what is so funny, Agent Lang?
You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you?
What are you trying to say?
Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility.
Is that so? Well, let's hear it.
Yes. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact?
It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the house of Armano, and the two of them made good use of their meeting to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say that my scenario is perfectly probable as well?
So, this is his version of how things might have been.
You don't have any proof that either one didn't know their true relationship, right?
You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter?
That's right! It's one really rotten family.
Is that really what happened? I had better take a long, hard look at the evidence. So how do we prove that they had no idea? Or at least one of them didn't have any idea? No idea, but I'm saving. Bloop, bloop. Okay.
I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter.
Precisely, and what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter?
I've seen a lot of things in my travels, and I can tell you that being related by blood is something sometimes proof of nothing. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact?
Okay. How do you say they knew? You think they knew?
Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't.
Because he was on the lam.
You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, it was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the house of Armano.
One is a butler, and one is the friend of the son, you mean?
They probably thought that was their best shot.
Is that what you honestly believe?
Of course. And the two of them made good use of their meeting to plan this little kidnapping.
You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives?
Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair.
The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were in fact family.
Yes, from the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles well. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well?
I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence.
Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary.
Without evidence to counter him, we're stuck in a draw. Agent Lang is wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one.
You better hurry and do something, or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad.
I know, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter?
Good question. So, let me look at my evidence.
And let's consider what they might not. What's this love letter? Okay, I want to think about this. Letter from Lance Armano. The sender is the Tender Lender Loan Company. Yeah. My dear Lance, may I come see you again, your beloved Viola. Interesting. Don't know if that means anything, though. What would prove for sure? Does the dossier say anything specific? Remember oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. There's something about Viola. Head. Sucks putting these streams, like, weeks apart. Not sure if it has anything to do with testimony, though. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable? Isn't it possible they both knew that fact, that they were related? How do I prove? Viola was, and Tenderlender, oh god, yeah. Now I remember, yeah. Viola was the daughter, part of Tenderlender. Or, yeah, actually, no, yeah. Daughter? No, she was... No, she was the daughter of the mob boss, and then Tenderlender's lead just saved her and kept her alive. Basically by force. Isn't it possible that they both knew this? Well, how would they not know? Because right now we're trying to find what's the proof that she had absolutely no idea. Again, maybe something to do with this. Probably not, but... Whereabouts unknown. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. Tiger crashed into Viola, so he's in debt. Yep. In much trouble with Mafia. Badge! No. Costumes separate into head and body. This head was left in the isolation room. Meh. I'm trying to think about the pamphlet. And this just shows all this stuff. The stadium, the haunted house, the main gate. I want to read over his dialogue again real quick. The two of them are father and daughter, but isn't it possible they both knew the facts? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano. Is that 100% proof? Is that 100% true as well? I think so. The two of them made good use of their meetings to plan the little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfect? Also, let's try and cut out some stuff that I think is just conjecturous nonsense. This is conjecturous nonsense. This is just stating, it's like, okay, so they're father and daughter, and we're trying to keep that consistent. So the beginning and the end, we can just slice that off. Isn't it probable that they both knew that fact? I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to be presenting on. Because again, I'm trying... If we go back to the very end of this sentence here... Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter? So I kind of have to prove that... somehow one or both of them had no idea. Mobile shop on 3 wheels was parked inside the Wild Wild West area garage. I could check this, I guess. No, I'm not thinking. I don't. No. Now I need to present this. What about the murder notes? Anything about this specifically? Shot from ABD. Let me check this. Maybe it has something to do with the specifics of the murder. Preliminary findings indicate loss of blood resulting from a gunshot wound. Entry point, lower right abdomen, the right shoulder. The lack of blood around the body suggests that the victim was killed elsewhere and then moved, which implies there should be evidence of blood at the real murder site. Well... I'm a little bit stumped on this one. I'm trying to piece together what would be the, I guess I could just try stuff. The age-old tactic of trying stuff. Yeah. I haven't actually checked this. Lauren D is engraved into this pendant. I see that they wrote out her first name, but why just the D? Maybe it's the result of poor planning. Yes. Well, at least if I had to shorten my name, I could make it F. Faraday. Or no, K. Faraday, rather. Son of a bitch. That way, even if you just sounded it out, it'd still say my name, K. Faraday. I suppose if I had to do it the same, I would rather it be abbreviated as M. Edgeworth. Hold on. I think I should abbreviate it as M.E. Get it? Who would have thought that this little pendant could stir up such a strange conversation? Alright, isn't it possible that they both knew this fact? That's nothing. This statement just now stands in contradiction to this piece of evidence. That thing has nothing to do with what I was saying. Now put it away. Oh, wait. Fuck. God, I'm so horrible with names. No, you're right. What is wrong with me? I mean, unless she changed her name at some point, which, I don't know. Or, fuck. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this piece of evidence, you'd see that there's a very big flaw in your logic. Flaw? You sure it's not your eyes are flawed? Talk to me again when you can see straight. Does it have to do with the costumes? Because if he's talking about a plan, this is a shoddy-ass plan. It doesn't seem like they spent a whole lot of time thinking about it at all. Hey! I did the thing! This kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people. Oh, right. Yeah, there's a third party involved somewhere.
And what kind of proof do you have of that?
Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers.
3?
Yes, get rid of that ninja stance. 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout, but as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this third person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping.
Who? Who is this mastermind?
I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. And now I need to choose Gumshoe! No. No. I'll be kind. Alright, so we have determined the people, like the 2 people that have already been determined that were inside these costumes were, you know, quote, Oliver Deacon. Lauren Pops. She knows a little bit too much to have not been involved in this kidnapping in some way, shape, or form. Actually, there is a part of me that kind of wonders if maybe Lance had something to do with it and this was a fake kidnapping. Of course, I don't know how he would have gotten so beaten the hell up as he was. I'm gonna try this. Oh dear. Ooh.
Lance Amano?
Yes, this abduction was, in fact, schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us.
Did you see the faces of your kidnappers?
No, I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman.
However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said.
But I know I only saw 2 people.
This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them.
Ah, yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive?
I really don't remember much anymore, honestly. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you?
He seems like a punk.
I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could.
Oh, some big earlobes. Takes after his father. Through the underground passageway, I presume.
Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right?
No, not quite yet.
How would you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in the eyes? Because he's a prosecutor. Because they're all like that.
I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. Why is he still cuffed? Meh. Cops are lazy. There's a sickening point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Right. I will save real quick. Just to put some kind of a barrier on whatever health I have left. Alright. Save point. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of these games, where, like, nothing's 100% obvious anymore. You were kidnapped yesterday morning, alright? Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail?
It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm.
And where were you when you experienced this calm?
Our family garden, of course. What else could it have been?
Well, excuse me for asking. This child's more princess than prince. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning bleh. And then out of the blue, someone from behind clamped a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker?
They must have used some drug to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout, already all tied up. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time.
Then how'd you see your attack? I don't know. By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct?
Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape.
Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers?
They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside.
The kidnappers disappeared?
The room fell into a sudden silence. I'd been left behind like an unwanted mutt.
And what do you mean by unwanted mutt?
Like you said, unwanted dog.
What a pointless question. It's not like he's gonna tell you anything new, you know.
It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them, too.
You may look refined on the outside, but it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. Then those cuffs on your wrists. I suppose you are still cuffed in that case?
I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Or you can get a welding torch. Jeez, kid, stop being so melodramatic. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could.
How did you manage to escape?
I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked.
What? No, it wasn't. Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageways. Bull! How about a shit? You say that the door leading out to was locked, but was it really? Not as locked down, are you, eh?
We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena?
Yes, that's correct.
Then take a look at this! What's that, sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that.
Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by the sword, which was used to jam the handle.
Oh boy.
Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape?
Why didn't
I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie! You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim! But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own!
You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way.
And what would that be?
A motive! What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Yeah. This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Let's see. To commit this crime, what would he decide? Oh my god, wait a minute. Tender lender, you strike again. To put it simply, Lance had a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is, in fact, a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. Must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh?
All right, I give up. I abducted myself.
Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town somewhere where no one could know us. Would know us, rather. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million. But now, that dream is over. Oh, Lance! Then you're giving yourself up? Yes. I plan to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekin saw was Miss Pops. Right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless. He tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it! That person was not my father! Because
Because if he was, I just killed my... Oh, my Jesus. Lolly, then it really was you?
Oh, piss.
That man was not my father. Because at the stadium, but there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aimed to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground. I ran, scared for my life.
Oh boy. I hope there's a neat little twist in all this, because
I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you?
Lolly, forgive me.
I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening.
If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. If what she says is true, are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Edgeworth, one step forward the entire time. But first, I'm going to save. I have an idea of how this might have gone down. That said, I'm not entirely sure how the end product happened. Load. The man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium... Please, calm down and let's slowly talk through this. But all you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that for me?
All right. So, at the stadium.
Stop getting all flustered with... I don't even want to say manly men because you were in love with that thing over there.
There was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it.
That was the ransom money, wasn't it?
Yes, that's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me.
And what did he tell you?
Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun. But the badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead.
Were you able to clearly see the gun?
Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth?
I don't know.
I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die. I see the answer here.
Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time?
Yes, of course. That badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead.
Left, eh? Dominant hand. Right. Ball. I have here a dossier of your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed.
Then...
The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon.
Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The bad badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun was his left. Isn't that possible? that it went down like that?
Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it.
Enough of the smugness. Out with it already.
Miss Pops told us earlier.
There was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it.
According to you, the bad badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops?
Yes, exactly.
And I'm sure it was the bad badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face.
But if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction.
Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the bad badger, and yet the bad badger had both his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. Interesting.
It wasn't the bad badger. Both hands were not occupied. Both are correct.
Well, I have kind of an idea about what happened here. And actually, I get the impression I know what's going on. I think both of these items are actually correct. And I don't think this badger may not have intended to actually shoot. They are both correct.
Impossible! That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction.
Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if the bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands.
Get your head on straight, Mr. Prosecutor. That doesn't show me diddy squat. Ah, I knew it! What I saw was just a mirage!
Wait, I can explain!
Shit.
Gun in left hand, suitcase on right. Bad badger costume had a model gun attached to his right hand, which is what created this contradiction about what hand did what. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that he saw sunglass beard. But if bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? Crap. Alright. Oops. So that wasn't it. The victim's costume. I picked the wrong thing. Oh, damn it! How was that wrong? It's gotta be something to do with the costume. There was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands. There was that part about the fact that one of the costumes had a gun ripped clean off, right? Boy, I'm confused. Well, the bad badger head. Here. There. Good fucking lord. The costumes have two parts to them. A head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, it's not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger.
Different badger?
Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the bad badger, I'ma guess it was a blue badger. His head may have been the bad badger, but his body was the blue badger.
Blue badger? No, hold on, let's see here. Who was it that had one of these on it?
I did.
I'd zoned it off as a Meekins, pal. Oh, shit. It's one of these games.
Nice try, but your logic is just a tad illogical.
Officer Meekins had been placed under arrest after all. Wait! I'd like to strike what I just said from the record and give my explanation anew. The body of the bad badger really belonged to this badger. I kind of want to say it was the bad badger one, but I'm going to go one at a time. I noticed that in this game, they give a lot of chances to possibly fail. But if we're going to go through this level of logic saying... I really do think that this might tie into the fact that there was a costume with a gun missing on it. It was the Bad Badger's body? The Bad Badger? You're a real laugh riot. You claim that the body was from a different Badger and then do a complete 180? The body on the Bad Badger was that of the Bad Badger, then we've resolved nothing. Curses! Okay, fine, or it's the Proto Badger, you bastards. Frickin' yeah. What the heck is it?
It's the Proto Badger.
Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the Blue Badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that's left is the Proto Badger's costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume?
That would be Lance.
Aha!
You saying what I think you are? Did Lance Amano don the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing?
The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Armano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon.
What? No!
That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto Badger's bulletproof. One misfire, and he would have found himself dead, right?
Of course. Logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. By using a fake model gun. We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks.
What?
Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now?
I threw it away into the sea.
Dramatic. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although, I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question.
I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture.
I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say with probability that I am right is very high.
Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor?
I don't know yet.
I knew you were full of it.
However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
She saw the victim in the state of being restrained?
I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon.
He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape.
So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right?
We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking to the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone.
Oliver managed to escape until...
Oh, wait, I looked. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time.
And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at the time. Wouldn't you agree?
Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine in more detail. I feel like whoever was subdued was in a costume. So you could just have made the assumption that that was him. Oh boy, my health is running low. Let's save the dealie. And go. When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout?
It was after we had picked up the ransom money.
And where were you up until the time you returned?
I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked around in the various areas looking for the best route.
Ah, so each of them had their own roles to play.
After I was done, I went back to the hideout. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon.
How did Lance look at that time?
He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes,
Thank you. That's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like?
He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door.
You are sure it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I'm certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Bullshit.
Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself?
I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon.
She saw a bad badger head? That makes no sense. The captive had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Okay. Gotta be something about that. So the tied-up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume?
Yes, and...
It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection?
Yeah.
The person you saw was not the victim.
Why not?
I will tell you why not. With this. This, Miss Pops, shows us that the person you saw was not the victim. Alright, and now we need to make a choice about this. Likely wearing one due to footprint shaped and lack of blood. So, we don't have a confirmed set of bloody costume. So we can't say for sure about that. The Bad Badger head was found inside that one room. There we go. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person. Okay, fair. No, it wasn't. Customary, obvious choice. Lance. Miles. Oh. Actually, It might have been Miles, now that I think about it. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a bad badger's head on, and then made your costume escape together. Or so you pretended.
Why, you mean he pretended?
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway.
Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth.
Tidal wave?
We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold.
That's right. You were off for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam.
I was scared of Mr. Deakins. I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see? It seems that you can't prove a thing.
Dude. Oh.
Who said that?
Oh, hello, sir.
Please wait.
Mr. Armano.
Oh, Miles, my boy. It looks like you're really giving it your all. And, Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others.
Dad?
Let's see. You are the one in charge of the investigation, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry that my son's been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you.
Now, do you now?
Hey, hello.
Thank you. Is that what I think it is? Oh, yay.
It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing. And a gun.
And it's been waterlogged.
I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears they were disposed of in the sea.
Ugh. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law?
There. Now. Agent Lang, please calm down.
What the heck is that scrap of paper?
This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Armano complete freedom to do as he sees fit.
It says convenient. What?
The Chief of Police? What the... Just who does he think he is?
The person who wields the highest authority in this area.
Oh, there now. There's no need to be so upset.
I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country.
Yeah, you are, as long as you're here. Now. So I wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land.
I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, well, let's take a look at this new evidence.
I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. You've got connections, old man. They verified that the blood in the costume belonged to Oliver,
As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. Can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Bullshit. Thank goodness I was able to find the final piece of evidence. For this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around.
That's it? These are the case-making pieces of evidence? I'll be the judge of that. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Let's look at that gun, shall we?
Could this gun be the actual murder weapon?
I don't know, but we're gonna have to check.
This bullet hole.
Looks kind of burnt around the edges.
Wait. Those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact.
Why is that?
Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range.
Okay. And then we officially have a gun located in the left hand. That's about right. And then what do we have here?
What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head.
Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. It looks like glass.
Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here?
Hello. Well, there was a mirror located out at the hideout, and also haunted house. Well, are those not the most definitive pieces of evidence you ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Now, let's have a chat, you little brat. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun, and they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was the one acting in self-defense.
The fingerprints on the weapon, huh?
Oh, no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes.
That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie.
You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? You scum shit. I love this song. It's so like it's fast paced and it's got like a very weird bass line. Let's go. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun.
Those fingerprints. Are you sure they belong to Miss Pops?
There's no mistaking about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed.
I find that to be a bit peculiar.
What are you trying to pick an argument with me?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
Sure.
Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pop's prints should not be on that gun is...
Well, let's actually check the revolver, shall we?
I found Miss Pop's fingerprints on this gun.
Can you let me hold it for a sec?
I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. Besides, Miss Pop's prints are on it.
Look, I'm wearing gloves. They'll be okay. I just want to take a look, that's all. It's not like I'm gonna run off with it. The only thing I don't return are treasures.
Stealing either one would land you in jail, you know.
Alright, so that's that. What else? What else could I possibly find on this thing? Anything off on the sides? Triggers, the chamber, maybe something to do with the front of the gun, perhaps? Probably not, but No, I think this is pretty straightforward. Yep. Okay, and then... I'm just trying to figure out if, like, any of this... I can't tell if it's fake or not. And I don't think I'm going to find the answer by just looking at it. Used to kill Deacon was originally stolen from a guard by victim during escape. Interesting. Out of boredom. With this piece of evidence, there's no reason for her to have left prints at all. Which face is that? Look here, this is what I speak of. Your logic's so hard to follow, you should provide a map. Even if she did it, there's something specific that makes it impossible to leave prints. Wait a minute. Hold it. No, she wouldn't have been able to leave prints because she was in a costume, right? So why would her prints be on that in the first place? Yeah, there we go. And then something to do with the costumes. Let me think. Stolen costumes. There we go. It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume. But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all, at any time? Speak up.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house.
To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pop's prints found their way onto the gun.
Yeah.
Do you understand now, Mr. Armano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer.
But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right?
You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer.
Oh, Lance. What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right?
That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence.
What? How?
The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all.
Alright. Murder? Alright. The real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Well, okay. We didn't really find any blood at the stadium either. That was one of the things I was kind of squicky about. It's like, where? Also, is there anything specific about the, Oh, wait a minute. Aha! The mirror fragments. These were found inside the victim's costume. Why were they there in the first place? This piece of evidence proves that This is not right. Mr. Prosecutor, I'd have to rate this piece of logic a 0 out of 10. 0? At least a 8.8 out of 10. At this rate, Lolly's gonna wind up getting arrested. I must remain calm and think clearly. If the murder did not happen at the stadium, in the scenario where the victim was up on the stage and Miss Pops was down below, there must be something that invalidates it. Okay, I think I jumped a little bit too forward here. There's no way. I mean, I guess the proof is that it didn't happen to the stadium is well, the angle. The idea is that the gun shot upwards into the chest. You know, like into the chest and out of the shoulder. But if that was not the killing blow, then it couldn't have happened on the stage and it couldn't have happened at the stadium. One of the time is scooting. Gunpowder burn is proof he was shot from point blank. Was ripped from the bed. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this. Let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. And again, I would have to say it's got to be this point-blank range shot. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Oh, so then you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was? Yes. She saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is at? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon's back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was in prison was... I've got it! I know the real scene of the murder! The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed was here! And I think it would be the haunted house. I think it's not unreasonable to assume that the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? Mirror fragments! Though that is not a very safe haunted house if there's actual real broken mirror everywhere, but whatever. These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? What does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there's one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. This is literally a game of Clue. After that, you stole the blue Badgermobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the blue Badgermobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Romano, but I could not do that. Be quiet. Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Romano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Cripps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. To call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout?
Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house.
You see, isn't it possible that the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Langsy says, on truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does exist is definitive proof. Question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Oh. No. Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have anything, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house.
Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission?
Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth.
Alright. Permission granted. But you're not going to touch a single thing, got it?
That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is.
Sheena,
I'm here.
put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately.
Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval.
Hold it. Who is that?
Now. Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval.
Mr. Armano?
Agent Lang, if you'd please take a look at this.
What is this?
Sheena!
It's the deed to the haunted house.
The deed?
Read it out loud.
Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Armano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash.
What?
As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house.
Are you kidding? When did you...
I ran into the owner of the park earlier and we made the deal almost immediately.
What can't you do when you have just buckets of money?
How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye.
That $1 million you paid... Don't tell me it was...
Ah, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now.
You used the ransom money!
My Lance is a good boy. Even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are. So if you would please discuss things with me from now on.
Discuss? What's there to discuss?
What, permission to enter the haunted house, of course.
While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Armano was out there preempting us.
Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion, you shitbag. Somebody get a warrant. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper.
Mr. Armano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever.
To be continued. I'm curious to see the next parts here. I'm safe. And real quick, I'm going to take a break because I hear a cat behind me that is not happy, and I don't know why. So I'm going to go check and see what his problem is, and I will be right back. So stay tuned. I have no idea what his deal was. Okay, so March 13th, 4:27 p.m. Gatewater Land Main Gate.
If I can't get permission to investigate the crime scene, then the truth will be lost.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Okay?
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this.
And what is that?
When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am Kay Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu!
But I thought you were a thief, not a hero.
Yatagarasu is noble and is always a thief of justice.
That's... Of course.
If we have enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony,
you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. we may be able to figure out some new information through this. It's worth a try. Agent Lang. So you want to use your little toy? Be my guest. Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Detective Gumshoe! Is there a copy of the haunted house blueprint among the police reference documents? Yes, sir. Got it just in case we needed it for the kidnapping case. Alright, I'll input the haunted house data then. Wazoom! Welcome to a haunted house, everyone. What is this? Where are we? It's like we're inside the haunted house. Even if we can't inspect the real location itself, the path to the truth slumbers here. If I can successfully navigate my way using logic, I'll ultimately arrive at the truth. Now then, I believe I'm ready to investigate the crime scene. This is actual witchcraft. Haunted house witchcraft. Okay, what should I recreate first? You haven't figured it out yet? Yeah, maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I'm gonna make you do all the hard work. Very well, I'd like to inspect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. The two of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I just come out into the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At that time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall. What was a badger doing all the way down there? I also thought it strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere. Do you know which badger it was? No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was its silhouette. In that case, I guess I'll just program a badger silhouette in for now. Okay, programming complete. Hey look, it's virtual me. These things remind me of Teletubbies. That's not a good thing. Then I started walking towards the exit. And that's when you were struck from behind, right? Yes. But that's odd. The hallway is a dead end. Where did your assailant come from? There's only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait here. That doll I saw wasn't really a doll. It was, in fact, a costumed kidnapper. Oh, so he used the costume as the perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house. Precisely. He waited until I had made drop-off and was about to leave. Then, just as he saw me take a step towards the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this. Hey, not bad. I'm beginning to think I should steal this tactic for myself. Just don't use it to do anything criminal, Kay. Doop 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 doop. Smack. Well, Lance? What are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figure I should give you the chance to confess first. I was one of the kidnappers, but I don't know anything. I did come up to the haunted house, but I never set foot inside. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside? Is he telling the truth, or is this another lie? Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me? Yes, I'm sure it was him. Okay, inputting the new info now. Mr. Deacon was the bad badger, right? Since the bad badger has a gun attached to its right hand, I'll have to change it so the weapon is in its left hand. That is just doofy looking. Now to verify the facts of this recreation. Well, let's see. Let's look at good old me. It's a replica of myself. You were totally oblivious to what was behind you, huh? Yes, I suppose I am also to blame for what happened to me. It was incredibly dark, which was all the more reason I should have been more alert. I vow to never be caught by surprise again. A vow that will probably be broken. You didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about. So tell me, what were you hit with? The attack came from behind, so I have no idea, but I doubt it was someone's bare hands. Okay. Then where were you hit? I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious. Ouch, sounds painful. Why are you smirking like that when you say it? It's just your imagination. Let's see. I wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. Damn, I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you. Well, clearly there's that sword sticking out of the dude. I have it! There was indeed one such object lying in the hallway. A prop sword. Are you talking about this thing here? Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes, it's possible that the culprit took it with him after he used it on me. To leave no evidence behind, right? Correct. It may be worth a more thorough examination yet. Okay, so what test do you want to run on the sword? Prince ain't gonna work because he was in a costume. Luminol. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. Let's run a luminol test. It's possible that some of my blood found its way onto this. Agent Lang, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter? Like I have a choice. Shinna, call the lab boys. Understood. Except for a dab on the left side, it would appear that the blade is spotless. So it must have been the left side of the prop sword that hit you then, right? Unless he was holding it stupid. But that would mean he was using it in his right hand. Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Right. I'd like to do something. Well, now this sword should say... Culprit hit me in the right temple area with this. And that, yeah, that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, considering it would have hit his left temple if it was being held on his right. Well, you know, if it was being held in his left hand. Finally, I found a clear contradiction of facts about this sword. Except for a bit on the left side, the prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side. The opposite side? Huh. If the culprit held the sword in his left hand, then the sword's right side would hit. I see, but the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Which means that he used his right hand to hit you. Exactly. The prop sword has a large handguard attached to the hilt. It would be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, if it couldn't be the left hand or both hands, it must have been the right. Nook and Granny. Yeah, I don't trust that grandmother. Nope. I am not touching that grandmother's nooks. I'll change the data to reflect right-handed swing. Not yet, Kay. There's no such sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it'd only create a new contradiction. Changing the proper sword to be in the culprit's right hand would conflict with what? The model gun in... Well, alright. Probably this.
The bad badger already holds a gun in his right hand, so he can't hold a sword in addition.
Hey, that's right. And what now? It wasn't his left or his right hand.
It means that the one who struck me could not have been the bad badger. Are you paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as our primary suspect.
Fine, it was me. I hit you.
It appears that you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance.
Wait, isn't Lance left-handed?
Ah, yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For, you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult. But the level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger.
You got it. Here I go. Magic. That's about the right creepiness, yes.
Now we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me.
All right. All we have to do is examine this new recreation and...
And what exactly is so funny, Agent Lang?
That's what I want to know.
That amusing little gadget, it sure packs a punch. Right, Shinra?
Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter, and you don't laugh at all. Hey, don't fun a little thief, you mean old werewolf. He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other.
You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by, listening. But the crude conclusions you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right?
Well, when you put it that way...
Your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault. I'm gonna let you in on this. There's a trick to this haunted house.
And what may that be exactly?
A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce. Shina!
Here you are!
Now then, what you missed, girly, is written right here in this pamphlet.
Oh, okay. I see.
The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House. The Disappearing Badger.
What is this?
I'd say that someone around here is fond of theatrics. And as you can see, they set a doll down at the end of the hallway for that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll.
I see.
How can this be?
Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window.
But that can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere. And then he laid down and pretended to be it instead.
If the criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway, how could he hide a giant doll? Do you get it now? Thanks to your presumptions, your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Now get off your high horse.
Mr. Hedgeworth.
Okay. I wonder if you could please input the new information for me?
You don't know when to quit, do you?
I can't quit. Not until I can declare that I found the truth. Agent Lang, for the additional information, you have my thanks.
There you go again. Well, see if I care.
Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. Bloop. Interesting. So there would be a blue badger sitting at the end of the hallway. Walk up. show up. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden. Yeah, it's almost haunted housey. If this leftover badger was just a doll, where was my attacker hiding? Well, that's what we're gonna find out, right? So, come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. Very well. One of these weird... It's so strange to be walking through this area, which is clearly not real. When you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house of mirrors. Indeed. Who's ever heard of this many mirrors inside a haunted house before? Well, at least we know this is the real crime scene, thanks to these mirror shards. Hey, wait. These shards, there's something different about them. Oh. The ones we found earlier are thinner than the shards from the mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back, too. The pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of these mirrors? Some mirror fragments that have a thing on the back. Strange. Okay, you guys hang out here. Then we got a set of armor. Pieces of a set of armor are in a pile here. Why do you think they almost always have sets of armor inside haunted houses? I suppose this sort of interior design is meant to bring out a sense of the abnormality. Abnormalcy. Why do all your explanations have to be so hard to understand, Mr. Edgeworth? Now try explaining it again, but this time so that even a thief like me can get it. That may prove to be a more difficult task. This is where the proto-badger shows up in our recreation. Oh, yeah, this is where it shows up in our recreation. Now, here's the question. The question is, where did he come from? Yeah, but there's no place to hide in our current model. There must be an inconsistency somewhere. Got another mirror over here. When you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house. Oh, okay. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. Where did these shards fall? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This blue badger is just a doll for use in this haunted house. I bet the one who killed this blue badger was the bad badger, right? According to the Blue Badger Bible, it says that they are each other's worst enemy. All because one's an ally of justice and the other's a vile criminal with a gun. Perhaps they were just destined to battle each other. Much like the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. Alright, the window doesn't seem to be anything. So is this just one big... There seems to be one big hitbox as far as I know. Yeah. I think I've inspected... Alright, so let me look at my logic real quick, and maybe I'll piece something together. Oh, yeah, I only have one thing. Never mind. Maybe something to do with the organizer. So, this doll here. I don't really know how I'm supposed to, like, disown the idea of having the doll. Like, how am I supposed to say, like, oh, hey, yeah, this thing wasn't here at the time. Different from the mirrors on the walls, very thick, and has a design on the back. Well, let me think. Is there anything that I should be inspecting on the badger now? It's the proto-badger who struck me. I suppose I should really say that it's Lance. Ooh, are you gonna get him back? I need not resort to violence when the lawsuit I plan to bring to court will suffice. Really? Because I would totally have decked him right back. If someone steals from me, I steal something from them. If I get hit, I hit them back. If I get paid, I return the money. That's the secret to how a great thief works. Her third statement doesn't seem to be of such benefit to her survival. Then there's the Mies. Door. I don't know if I can talk with anybody here, but...
I can't believe what I'm seeing, sir. This space that I'm standing in, it's like out of some crazy dream.
Except that this isn't a dream. This is something K's... this is, something K's gadget.
No, wait, this is exactly like a dream, sir. I've never been so impressed. It's a miracle.
Someone sure is easily impressed. I'm so glad you like it.
Oh, so this is a product of your, gadget? Now I wish I had one too.
Well, once this is over, I'll let you play it with it for a bit if you want.
You do that for me, pal? Oh, thanks. All right, let's wrap this case up already.
Times like these, I wish, that I wonder if they understand the seriousness of the situation. Thanks for letting us use, little thief.
Langsy says, reject not those who seek the truth. So keep in mind that I'm not doing it for you. Doing this for the truth.
Don't worry, I understand. We may have different methods, but our wish is the same. So, have you noticed anything worthwhile?
I have no obligation to talk with you.
Well, I'm fine with just Little Thief and solving this case.
That toy, it's very well made.
That's because it's the heart of the noble thief, Yadagarasu. Kay, that may not be something you want to advertise to everyone.
So, Shina, what exactly is the source of this extra-dimensional lag space?
I believe this is nothing more than a projection from that girl's toy.
So, it's an illusion, right?
Yes.
Hey, don't treat this like some sort of silly late show. And then wuss over here. You can lie all you want, but it will all be for naught, Lance. As soon as I expose the truth, you will be placed under arrest. How can you do this? After all my dad has done for you? What your father has done for me is unrelated to the charges you face now. Unbelievable. You know, you sound kind of like a bully right now, Mr. Edgeworth. If I'm not serious about this, he will never understand the true gravity of his crimes. I will not allow him to remain a child forever. Ha ha! Now you sound like a dad. Never. There. Maz, my boy, what is the meaning of all this? You plan on paying me back for all I've done for you with the conviction of my son? I have not forgotten my debt to you. However, your son's crimes are a separate matter. Further, I can't ignore the truth when it's right before me. You will regret this. I promise you that. No matter the outcome, I never regret the choices I make. Miss Pops, by my hand, I will prove your innocence in the murder of Mr. Deacon. Therefore, please don't fret. It will soon be over. Do you not trust me?
That is... Your face is all beet red, Miss Pops. No, I can't. I have Lance.
Lolly, don't tell me that you're like the guy more than me.
That's... why am I so pathetic? I'm so easily swayed by even a single glance.
What exactly is she going on about?
I think you have another guilty person on your hands, Mr. Edgeworth.
Alright, so... all of that flavor text. Anything else around here that would be noteworthy? Probably not. All I can think is that somehow I needed to do something with this guy over here. So... Spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. I mean, this isn't technically a costume. This is a doll. Let me see. Map and explanation to park attractions listed. Here we are. The 7 wonders of the haunted house. The disappearing badger. Well, how does it disappear exactly? That's one thing I was kind of wondering. It's like, I mean, how does it go away? We need to figure out that information. So, maybe this. This is in complete contradiction to this piece of evidence. Oh, well, maybe it's not in complete contradiction. Hold it, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Is it a contradiction or not? Sorry, I don't quite know. Crap. Look, we all know you're just chasing your delusions, so let's stop wasting time, all right? You want to suspect me, Mr. Edgeworth, but you haven't got a single shred of evidence. Now, I say we let the courts resolve the rest. Shit. A few days later, Lance was acquitted of all charges due to lack of evidence. Thus, the truth was lost for all eternity. I am bad investigator. Where did I save last? Oh boy. I did not save for a long ass time. Shit. Well, this is why I get into the habit of saving. Must be a contradiction somewhere. There we go. And again, I'm gonna need to do a bunch of saving from now on. Shit, that took way too much time. Alright. Is it the costumes? I have saved. I have saved, so this is not going to be an issue if something screws up. I'm gonna try this. Nope. Well, darn. Dem's the books. Look carefully at the Bible version of the Blue Badger and the doll. I am... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, is that what that is? Is it the fact that the belts are on wrong? Oh, it's dumb. Good God. Well, thanks for the help. Good. I don't even know what the point is to point that out. We'll see. Hold on a second here. There's something wrong with this Blue Badger. Like what? The way the belt is on him is the opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake? When I find out why, it won't be dumb? Or we'll see. That can't be. I inputted the image data exactly as it is in the pamphlet. So then, why is the Blue Badger dressed up in reverse? So, now do these two mix? They do! Kay, do you remember what you said earlier? What I said earlier about what? About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors. A house of mirrors. Oh, that would explain the reverse of mirror image. What? Somebody took a picture of the mirror? Is that what it was? Yes, this Blue Badger might be nothing more than the reflected image of a real one. Then, was the Blue Badger you saw just a reflection? When I looked down the hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror... Oh, then it would actually form an L shape, right? Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black. And there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hallway. Wait, but why build this place like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me. Kay, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. They created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose, one I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall. I mean, it's probably for the disappearing badger trick. As it's written in the pamphlet, the main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger. You mean they built the mirror from that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there.
That was true at the time. However, doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. Move the mirror wall. Move the blue badger. Dim the lamps.
Save! I don't know. The problem is saving. It takes a hell of a long time as well. Oh god, that just seems like a really, really big mirror if you wanted to move it. So instead... Also, you couldn't really move the blue badger. Because then somebody would see you do it. So the better option would be to dim the lights, right?
All they would have to do is dim the lamps.
So that's how it's done! If it was completely dark in here...
Then you wouldn't be able to see the badger anymore.
Yeah... Wait, hold on, that's completely pointless. You wouldn't be able to see anything at all, not even where you were going.
Is that necessarily a bad thing?
Well, it is, if it negates the point of the attraction.
I'd better rethink this. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a
Ah, shit. How the hell do you move the mirror wall?
To remove a reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. Then, beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created.
Oh, so when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror.
And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. This explains why the other side of these fragments have a design on them.
Oh, if the pattern is the same as the other walls in this hallway...
Then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls.
Ah, okay. It's still hard to figure out, especially since you don't have a map of the actual doohickey. Funny enough, shouldn't this have been a part of the mapping of this entire place? Why was that not included in the, in the simulation? I feel like it should have. But whatever, dramatic pause. So whatever. Now.
This is the mirror trick that the haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit.
Huh? How so?
Think about it, Kay. There was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding directly here. There was a very large blind spot, one I could not see beyond, and it was here. If my assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror,
then you wouldn't be able to see him. He didn't even need to do anything to the Blue Badger doll.
Exactly. All he had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror.
Wait, hold on. I just thought of something.
Yes?
Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality?
Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait! That sound!
Leave the money and go now.
That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Kay, I'd like you to input some new information.
Don't scare me like that!
Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me.
Sure, whatever you need. So what do you need anyway?
If you could first recreate the hallway just before I entered the dining room.
You got it. Blanc. Ooh, neato.
Now this. I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Although at the time I thought it was but a single straight hallway, and then I went inside. It was around then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering.
You heard what? Then...
Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken.
Okay. So then when you stepped outside into the hallway again...
The mirror wall should no longer exist. Okay, please recreate that. Got it.
Hoy. Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. So, where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth?
That's easy enough. With the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway.
I think this about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything.
No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Perhaps you did not notice? But this recreation contains a very troubling inconsistency. The inconsistency between what I saw and the recreation lies.
Shit, okay. Oh, what? Shit.
Not entirely sure.
Here! Are you sure that contradicts with what you saw?
Well, that's something even I must look into a little bit more.
What? If even you're having a tough time with this, then I must be one tricksy trick. You must be one tricksy trick. Hey, wait. You didn't mean what you just said, did you?
Shit.
I'm gonna try this.
Kay, take a good look at the end of the hole.
Oh, wait, is that...
No, that's just a window or a door. No,
I think it's a window. Oh, there's no blue badger there.
Exactly. The blue badger that I saw in reality is not here. This is the final point in this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction.
So, let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right?
And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger.
And I believe it would be the, Holy shit! Alright, if I'm... I'm just trying to think of, like, what piece of evidence would be the perfect... Because I have an idea of what he's doing.
The badger I saw was in actuality the dead victim's body.
What? Ninja.
Agent Lang, the entirety of my complete logic is my final decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off. And you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken.
You were in the house at the time, right? Are you telling me that you missed the sound of a gunshot?
There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics, I assume. The gunshot must have blended right in. Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with me, who was with the victim at the haunted house? Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? It was you, Lansamano! The Hulk!
I'm sorry! Yes. Cry for me, you spoiled brat. It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. Oh, okay, we can stop here. More like the Incredible Sulk. Good one. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through the body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See, that's justified. Self-defense. My boy was only trying to protect himself.
That remains to be seen, and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lang, I leave the rest to you.
As if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. Wait, I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person you should be arresting is Lance. Dad! Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easy, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so that you could cover for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all. Truly touching. Yeah. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wound me. I came all this way from across the sea, just to see you, you know. You came to see me?
What's that supposed to mean?
I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about the case from 10 years ago.
A case from 10 years ago?
Oh, what's the name that you use here for that case? Sheena!
It's known as the KG8.
Oh my god, that's the same one. The KG8 incident.
Oh, so you remember it. Good. And you'll recall that the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling. There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested at the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Devore.
Father!
Even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, Mr. Devore, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Amano. Mr. Devore was arrested in place of you, which is why, when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret. Now. Please calm down. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat.
He is sweating bullets. Hold it. Who? What?
Who the heck was that?
Oh dear. I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind.
And who the heck are you?
I'm Jacques Sportsman, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case.
Oh, Jacques, thank goodness you're here. Don't jerk me around. This is an Interpol case, so keep your paws off my suspect.
Sorry, but I can't comply. I've got the backing of the prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring cases to court. So, if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
Sorry, but I hate prosecutors. The whole lot of you.
None taken.
Guys, arrest the two suspects.
Sir. Oh. And chained.
No, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you.
Thank me?
Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal.
I've been used. Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean?
You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had a legitimate reason to arrest him. So, how's it feel to bite the hand that feeds you?
The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow.
It's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Armano and the smuggling ring, right?
No, I would never do such a thing.
What the heck? Arntel's never wrong. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring.
Ah, so Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Armano. That must be the real reason behind his antagonistic attitude.
On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right?
I do not speak that name.
There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, too, are you?
The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed.
Well, don't worry. It's not only you. A whole lot of you can't be trusted. A prosecutor who never lost in 40 years. Every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by those ideas, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies?
It would seem that his disdain extends beyond just me. So much bias. An entire bucket load of bias. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all?
Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving.
Sweet.
So don't you forget it.
So did you practice that synchronization, or, Please wait. Agent Sheena? Why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so? Prosecutor killed by father, probably. Finger-pointing powers, activate!
Lang is the head of the long-honored House of Lang in Zhengfa. The head of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood.
What do you mean by that? Aren't they still?
They were revered, but that was long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore. And it was all because of the courts.
I just read Mario's comment. Gee, I wonder who the corrupt guy is. I don't know. Shrug. How can that be?
A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Lang family its honor and trust.
But not all prosecutors are like that. Maybe Portsmouth knows who it is.
Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor.
Fine, have a bias, see if I care. As long as he doesn't get in my way anymore. So Agent Lang is a man who hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors.
Man, what a piece of work that guy is.
Come on, Jim. Better catch up.
Yeah, just still got to deliver that thing to the old man after all.
Doop, 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 doop. Dead man walking. Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed us home ourselves.
Yeah? Are you going home too, Mr. Edgeworth?
No, I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off at my office?
No problem, sir.
Excuse me?
Yes, what is it?
That is... Thank you very much.
No, it's okay. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective.
I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate! What's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves?
Don't cut your freaking hair off. This has not been his day. No, absolutely not.
To think I never realized my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure. Ah, there she goes again, talking to herself.
Miss Pops, I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping?
No, I have no idea.
Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning he had no interest in the staged self-abduction.
Wait, and why did he...
I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops.
Me?
Lance realized that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Devore into cooperating.
Father?
As a felon, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least, he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shape of his overflowing love for you.
Oh, sappy.
Go on, speak your mind.
That is... thank you very much.
You're welcome. Although, there's no need to thank me.
No, Lawrence, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you.
Jesus, you need to get laid. Looks like you've completely stolen her away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Way to go, sir! Horn dog.
Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief. So much older? How old is she? That's a good freaking question. I don't know. It looks to me like both of them could be like in their really late teens, early 20s. So I have no freaking clue. Then again, it's anime, so who the hell knows? Oh, also Mario points out, he says Edgeworth is 26, Lance is 21. Oh, the court recognizes ages. Oh, right. Oh, Jesus, yeah, I forget that there's profiles. Yeah, how old was she? 19. So, yes, she needs to find a man. Badly. Let's see. What are you going on about now? Wow, your deducing spells may be sound, but you have no street smarts.
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you.
Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. Ah, your age? Perfect. If you haven't remembered in all this time, I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know.
What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, how do you know this girl?
Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy.
Gummy?
What now? Here, maybe this'll jog your memories. I promised I'd return this to you one day, remember?
That's... Wait. That single piece of cloth took me back, far into my past. To that fateful day, 7 years ago, when I first met the then child K. And Detective Gumshoe. Oh boy.
The end, and I guess we're going to see what that's all about next time. She's a bit too crazy for me. Yeah. There's a bunch of red flags. For sure. Alright then. Well, that's kind of an interesting place to leave. Why is it that this episode, like, this series just doesn't seem to want to stick to a linear time plot? It's being like, we're going back in time for the 5th time this time. Like, we started out with a murder at my office, and then we stepped back onto a plane, and then we got to an amusement park, and now we are supposedly going back in time further 7 years ago. It's like, yeah, but can we stick to something? It keeps you on your toes. Although I see that this silhouette is a nice little bumbling gumshoe. I recognize that shoulder lift. Only Ace Attorney 1 has a linear timeline. And Apollo Justice likes to jump back and forth between the present and then 7 years past. So I wouldn't even call Apollo Justice that. That's kind of interesting. I like callbacks. I'm a sucker for callbacks, something fierce. Like, if you put a callback into anything, I immediately just, like, giddy up. I'm like, I know that reference! Yay! So, that's probably to my benefit. Anyways. Well, this went on a little longer than I thought it would, but I'm glad that we finished it up, and now we can start off fresh next Saturday with episode 4. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm gonna finish up the stream. Oh, here's a fun fact I found about this. I have moved the stream over from streaming at 720 to 1080p HD, and I've realized that turns out it actually takes longer for video to process when it's 1080, regardless of what you said quality-wise. I don't know why. Just all the software I have been using, just it takes longer to process. Case 4 is your favorite in the game. Ooh, well, looking forward to next Saturday. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna need to process this video, and I'm absolutely editing and getting rid of all the parts where I had to, like, get back to where I was, because that was painful. But once that's all done, I'm gonna upload it to the YouTube channel. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. I'm starting at around 7 o'clock. And some other stuff I got going on. Tomorrow, I'm actually thinking about doing some more Hat in Time mods, because there's one thing in particular I saw that I'm really tempted to just go long haul and just do one really big mod that recently came out. How is there not... there is a Trucy mod. Hold on. Nope. I'm stopping. Hold on. There we go. Somebody made a mod for... I mean, this is basically just a skin mod, but it's a decent one. Yeah, see? It's the proper colors. I was thinking about getting the dye. I actually, come to think of it, what's the logistics of it? Yeah, edits Hat Kid's colors to look like Trucy Wright from Apollo Justice. It's found in the Time Rift roulette, which means if I want to get it, I would have to run the roulette. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna subscribe to that, and I'm gonna try and get it maybe next time. Oh, hey, I might as well give a little bit of credit to that too. The creator of that dye was Hinata. Sorry, I'm checking this page real quick to see if there's anything more specific about it, but that's about it. It's a dye. I'm just gonna chill out for the rest of the night and go to bed. So again, thanks for coming out. See you next time.